With everything we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that we can't deliver on that original vision for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode with talent trees, that long-term power progression. Those things just aren't in our plans anymore.
You what?
So then I'm kind of mad. If they just realized that they shouldn't go with PvE because they released Overwatch 2 unfinished, and now they're realizing maybe we should focus on the live build because we've already released it and now we don't have time or resources for PvE and stuff. Why did they release Overwatch 2?
But this is just a simple lack of hitting expectations. Expectations were set and expectations were failed to be met. And that will make people upset, and I think justifiably so.
They just completely announced that the last 4 years of hard work on their PvE component to Overwatch is just being scrapped. The entire progression system, all of that, just being flushed right down the shitter to join the gators in the sewers now, which is beyond shocking, because that's the entire purpose of Overwatch 2 existing, by the way.
To many of you.
Wait, then what is the plans then? Wait, brother, then what even is the plans then? What do they have?
Well, there it is. What the fuck else do you get to say?
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that little mashup of clips I threw together there. The main purpose for me throwing that up there was just to sort of, I mean, I know nobody watches these videos, it's mainly just me, but it was to remind myself of what the general sentiment and the vibe was from when, back in May, I think that the Overwatch 2 PvE was announced to be canceled. Maybe not even canceled, but maybe reworked is a better way to put it. But the way that I threw those clips together from people who were larger content creators, smaller, those who strictly play Overwatch, those who are just, like XQC and Ludwig per se, who don't strictly play Overwatch anymore anyways, but dabble in just sort of internet happenings and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can see the general vibe from them was just that. It was negative. The big question is really, what is the point now with Overwatch 2 and the way that the PvE has been released and has been restructured? What's the point? We say this now because obviously Overwatch 1, in a strange sense of the word, died for Overwatch 2 to exist. I mean, from strictly, practically, the servers are gone for Overwatch 1. We will never play 6v6, 2 capture points on a Mora or Anubis, for better or for worse. We will never play another ranked game where we struggle to get to the first point. But, all that aside, it's interesting to think about how that sentiment was anger, confusion. We just didn't understand. And here we are now, a couple months later. We have the first batch of story missions. I will admit, I did buy them and play them. And while they were good, and the best part was obviously the storytelling and the cinematics, obviously the highlight of this whole PvE mode, we sort of sit here and wonder, was it worth it? Obviously being dramatic, was it worth it to kill Overwatch 1 in favor of giving Overwatch 2 life? And for me, I think that Overwatch 2 has a lot of beneficial gameplay adjustments. I mean, you can, even aside from the 5v5 or 6v6 whole discussion, I think that a lot of heroes were reworked and balanced and adjusted, and a lot of new content has been introduced, which keeps the game fresh. But then we have to think, couldn't we have just done this all in Overwatch 1? And I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is obviously yes. But, maybe from a business perspective, you are Blizzard and you look around at other games like Fortnite and maybe Apex Legends and other games that are highly monetizable with things like skins and emotes and all this, and you want to make a quick buck, and you think that your player base will never stand for Overwatch 1, a game where it was primarily loot box based. And although that was controversial at the time, I argue that Overwatch 1 was one of the better systems with loot boxes, because the gameplay additions and the content was always purely cosmetic. But that aside, maybe it was purely, Overwatch 2 exists now purely as a monetization update, and you just sort of sneak in gameplay adjustments and heroes and content as a way to justify it further, just to increase profits. But who knows? I'm rambling a lot because I still remember seeing that original, first introductory PVE mission back in 2019. I think if I can find the clips, I will throw it up on the screen now, where it was, it's the first mission we play now in Overwatch 2's PVE. It's, Lucio and Rialto, I think, and that whole thing. I mean, that really got me hyped, because you think this is what the premise of Overwatch 2 is really thriving on, the story and the directing and just the storytelling. I mean, the cinematics racked together, millions of views, and you look at the compilations on YouTube of, 2-hour long 4K Ultra HD Overwatch cinematic stories, and those garner millions and millions of views, and you just think, wow, Overwatch and Blizzard has something really special here, and it just feels like they fumbled it with the execution of this PvE. I mean, no longer highly replayable or highly customizable with this gigantic skill tree thing. It just feels like the $5 that I paid for that batch of 3 PvE missions was, I won't say not worth it because I'm too much of a fan of the game, but you just wonder, what was the point, and was it worth it? And man, do I wish things turned out differently. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed. I am working on my editing style and all that, so I hope you do find that to be a bit satisfactory. I'm learning Premiere Pro as I do this, so hopefully the audio levels are okay. The visual qualities of the videos that I downloaded off of YouTube look good, and overall, I mean, to the 5 people who were seeing these things, hey, thanks a lot. It means the world to me. But I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys later.